In this video, we will briefly explain what the term acceleration means. Acceleration is one of those words which can mean something different in a technical context to its everyday meaning. You've all heard the expression speed kills. Well, technically, that's not correct. It doesn't really matter how fast you're going. You could be traveling down the highway at 200 kilometers an hour and you'll be perfectly safe. It's when you hit something or encounter a red light that you're going to have a problem. It isn't how fast you're going that matters, it's how fast you stop. Or a better way of looking at that is how fast your motion changes. Imagine you are driving down the road at 100 kilometers an hour. You gently apply the brakes and you slow to a stop. You are perfectly safe, your car is perfectly safe. Consider another car that's also driving down the road at 100 kilometers an hour, but it runs into a brick wall. That is not a slow, gentle stop. That car changes from 100 kilometers an hour to zero very, very quickly. And that will probably result in a lot of damage to the car and possibly the car's occupants. Notice that both cars had the same change in motion. They both changed from 100 kilometers an hour to not moving. What was different was they did not have the same rate of change of motion. The first car went from 100 kilometers an hour to zero in a fairly long time. The second car changed from 100 kilometers an hour to zero in a very short time. It's that rate of change of motion that matters. And that brings us to the idea of acceleration. Acceleration is the name we give to the rate at which your motion changes. It's important to understand that. It's not how much your motion changes, it's how fast your motion changes. The car that has the greater acceleration isn't necessarily going to end up going faster. It's just going to speed up at a faster rate. The other thing to be aware of is that acceleration doesn't just mean speeding up. In a technical context, acceleration is the rate at which your motion is changing. If you are speeding up, your motion is changing. You are accelerating. But if you are slowing down, your motion is also changing. You are accelerating. And you could accelerate without changing speed at all, simply by changing direction. If your motion is changing in any way, getting faster, getting slower, or changing direction, then by definition you are accelerating. For many people, this is different to the way we use the word accelerate in everyday language. For many people, accelerate just means speeding up. To a scientist, speeding up, slowing down, and changing direction are all forms of acceleration.